folks. Lots of new developments, lots of new babies. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. So this video is kind of going to be a hodgepodge. I started filming day before yesterday when, on Friday actually, when Little Bit was born. Little Miss Cookie Butter was born. It was not completely unexpected, but it came out of the blue, let me tell you. So we weren't planning on filming, and then I ended up filming, and then we had to kind of stop it, so it didn't make a lot of sense because we sort of had what I felt was a pending emergency with the mama. She got overheated, and so we had to shift to, we're not filming, we're not gonna worry about it. We got to get everything moved around and set up because, hey, there's a new kid in town, y'all. So I just finished doing all the barn chores. So we are moving into day 3 of this new baby. Our little baby's born. Miss Levy delivered, and she is coming into milk. So we're moving into a milkmaid schedule here in the next day or two. But this happened so fast, and there's something about this that I want you to take away from this, not just to see this precious new thing, and to understand that you have to be very fluid on your farm. On a smaller homestead, you have to be very fluid because you have to learn to adapt and change things very quickly. It's a big learning curve, and you will get very good at that. You'll be the ultimate multitasker and, you know, doing all this all the time because things change very quickly. But also, things do not always go according to textbook. So, as you know, and if at all you've been seeing my posts on Facebook and Instagram, we've been watching this cow and watching her development and waiting for baby to arrive. And I talked about all the different signs, and I've made videos in the past about all the different things you should look for so that you know if a calf is coming. Well, you might be pretty close in terms of understanding it's going to happen in the next couple of days or maybe a week. But it's just like a human, it's just like a woman. They're going to do what they're going to do. This video is not about you. No, it's not, Miss Tolly. So here's the story. So this past Friday morning, we came into the barn, and we've been watching. And a lot of the things you look for in terms of a cow, you know, watching how they develop and grow and get bigger. If they're going to have, have a calf, they're going to freshen. You look for several things. Everybody talks about the 5 signs and all of these different things, which is watching the vulva get very, very big. You start watching it spring and bounce as she walks. You watch it as it starts to open and it winks at you, literally, as she's standing there or she walks. It's called winking. You also look for the ligaments to start loosening up. You start looking for that tail to start dropping. You look for her udder to get really big, maybe even start leaking milk, milk and colostrum. You will also start looking for mucus and for shedding of the lining. It will be coming out of the vulva. These are just some of the main signs that you will see. And every cow is different, okay? So some things happen, you know, like you can have a cow, my older cow, when she had one of her babies, she was shedding mucus for weeks. But then when it was right time for her to have the baby, like within 12 hours, she started stringing, and long strips of lining were coming out, and just long, and she would drag it across the actual field. I know, you're probably eating a snack, but hey, welcome to homesteading. This is fact. So, you know, we've seen Miss Lovey get bigger. We've seen her bag get bigger. We've seen the vulva swell. We've seen the ligaments kind of loosen up a little bit, but not to say she's going to have this baby in the next 12 hours. That's what we were starting to look for over the last week because the vulva did get bigger. The bag was getting bigger. So we knew it was coming soon. So that's why all the pictures of all of that were so important on my other social media. I had a lady or two that got offended by it. Is that not pathetic? I know. This is what we do, folks. This is how we know if there's going to be a baby or not. But doesn't matter. My point is we came out on Friday, which was 3 days ago, and literally overnight, her bag doubled. It was actually on Friday, it was actually even bigger than you're seeing now, because since then we have been treating her, we've cooled her down, the baby is nursing, and I have been milking some to gather some colostrum to put back in the freezer. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm looking and watching it, on Friday I told James, I said, James, we've got to get them moved over to the covered shelter tonight. I think we're going to see a baby most likely by Monday morning, because it's going to happen overnight. Well, that's not how it went. It's okay. It's okay. You're good. You're good. Now, I will tell you, so this all happened on Friday late morning. On Thursday, though, I did note that she didn't really want to eat. I mean, this girl don't skip a meal, okay? So for her to be like, I'm not getting up and coming over there, I told James, I said, that is a sign. Then we come out Friday morning, and I'll show you, her bag was ginormous. So that's why I was coming to the conclusion, probably in the next day or 2 or 3, we need to get everything ready, make sure we're ready to rock and roll, get her moved, because baby's coming quick. But the reason I was giving myself and us a little bit of a couple of days, at least a 12-hour timeline or more, was because I wasn't seeing any mucus. And you can see the vulva is not near as big as it was the other day. Her tail was still kind of high. The ligaments weren't any different. I have never seen in the last 2 weeks that I have come out here and been, Inspector Gadget, have I seen any shedding of the lining or any mucus or anything at all. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm just saying we didn't see it. And I'm pretty doggone sure, with as much as I've looked at this cow's butt in the last couple of weeks, I think we would have seen something. Loving on mama. Love that mama. Love that baby. Love that mama. So here's the deal. So we did all of our barn chores. We did all of these things on Friday morning. And I was like, holy moly, look at that udder. I actually felt sorry for her. Then we decided to do a live stream on Facebook. And then I ran, because I'm still running, preparing for the 5K. And I went back to the house. I was up here all morning. I was up here and I bathed her. I washed her down. I was here till almost 11 o'clock. It was 11 o'clock. And we were going to go run some errands, get some things for her, some Dynamint and some different things like that, order some things for her. And I said, okay, we're going to shower. We're going to run some errands. We come up the driveway, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes later. There she stood with the baby. So, just like a human birth, probably you've experienced it. You went to bed feeling like you've always felt, whatever, to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and by 4 o'clock, you're a mama. That's what happened here. So understand that while it's important to know all the textbook, what you doing? Am I getting kisses? I'm getting kisses. Oh, she wants me to love on her? Okay. While all these things are important and you need to know all these critical signs, it doesn't always happen that way. Now, here is the tough part. She had a healthy birth. Baby was great. Baby was nursing. She was healthy, no problem. So we did run our errands and we came back. By the time we got back, baby and mama had moved all the way across the farm. And I told James, I said, it is way too hot. We were in the 90s. I said, they have got to get back in the shade. The situation is mama would not move to the shade because she couldn't get the baby to get up. Baby wanted to lay in the sun and be, beach bunny bingo there and love, and mama's bathing her and she's loving that hot sun. But the problem was mama had just given birth. Mama was getting overheated. So the new stanchion and the new shed for the cows is quickly going up as quickly as we can as soon as we get past this rain that's coming in from Ida. It's already clouding up. We're supposed to start getting rain by this evening. So my point is everything has to be rearranged. We knew she was going to have a baby. We just thought we had a couple of more days. I actually was hoping that we were going to make it to next weekend, but you can see how that changed. But my point is things happen very fast. So we've had to separate things. So we had to literally, I was trying to film that video. I don't know how I'm going to put that footage in, so just roll with it, baby. But I picked the baby up, and it was like carrying a giant, like, have you ever seen those videos? Those men that catch those fish that are bigger than like cars, I don't know if it's halibut or whatever. And she was licked over so much from Mom, I could barely carry her because she was so slippery. James had Lovey and was bringing her over by the collar. So we brought them all over and we put them in the shade. Mom immediately started drinking, cooling down. And then of course I treated her udder with special washes with lavender, raspberry leaf extract. I did Dynamint, and baby was nursing, so we got a lot of the swelling down, and she's doing really, really good. Now she's full this morning because she's ready to be milked. We're about to move into milking season, meaning, you know, the first couple of days, and this is what I want to share with you. I'll show you a picture of what I've got, but these cows, when they, especially any cow, any creature, they produce colostrum for their baby. You produce, if you are a female and had a baby, and that's why they encourage you to breastfeed, if you can, encourage you at least the first couple of days, because that baby needs that colostrum. Same situation, particularly with goats and cows. Those babies must get that colostrum, but they produce so much. This baby's got a little bit of colostrum butt right now. She doesn't really have scours or anything like that, but you can see that she's definitely pooping and it's a little bit runny, so I'm watching it. I've always watched it. That's par for the course. As she continues to nurse and as Mama is freshening and her milk is now starting to come in, it's gonna transition over to milk. I'm collecting colostrum along with baby to put back in my freezer. A lot of people yesterday on Instagram and Facebook were really confused by that, which kind of, you know, I'm just so used to this lifestyle and these things, it's no thinking about it, but a lot of people don't know that. So I'm collecting the colostrum, and a lot of milkmaids do this. Farmers and homesteaders, we do this because colostrum is life. And so going forward in the next 6 to 12 months, if I have another situation with a new baby and I don't have colostrum, say the mother passes or the mother's not producing or something happens, or if a neighbor needs colostrum or a friend needs colostrum for their calf or whatnot, I've got it in the freezer. So somebody was concerned that, you know, baby wasn't nursing and I was taken from baby. Folks, that's not the situation. This baby, there is no physical way at this point this baby can handle as much as Mama is producing. In fact, it's dangerous. So that's why she just nips what she wants and she's done, and then Mama has a whole bunch there sitting there. So I'm collecting some, not a couple of quarts, not even gallons, not yet. So what's going to happen is there's a transition here that typically happens, is Mama is going to be producing what baby needs. Mama will then also transition into, over the coming weeks, if you're not milking her, she will be producing what baby needs. That's why they tell us in the beginning, if this is the ideal situation, for several weeks or even a couple of months or so, I'll be milking twice a day and taking so much each time and letting baby strip her down and have the rest of it, okay? And that will slowly, as the calf continues to grow and maybe Mama starts to pull back, hopefully I will transition to milking once a day, hopefully in the mornings, depending on what's ever easiest. Mornings are best in my opinion. That's always worked well for me, get it over with, right? It's typically cooler, hot weather. Mom is more cooperative in the mornings, usually. She wants to eat and stand still. So my point is there is an ebb and flow to this, but by no way, in any means, by taking a quart of colostrum yesterday out of what you just saw, is it taking from baby at all. It is imperative for people to understand that. And so if you're new to milking and you can collect, even if it's just a little half-pint jar, depending on what you're milking, whatever you can get, put that away in your freezer, hold on to it for the next 6 months to a year or whatever, because I've learned very much in the last year, as you've seen on our channel, things happen, folks, and you got to be ready for it. So we have Miss Belle over in this large paddock. We put Mama in because she doesn't have to tend to a baby, so she can travel around, get in shade, get in the water, and do whatever she wants to do. We moved Mama over to the smaller paddock where the goats like to hang out and get fed, and they know their boundary. They know their boundary, but there's a lot more shade. It's much more compact, so we decided to do that. Well, we were going to do it through today, but now with all this rain coming, we're probably going to end up letting the storm pass. So therefore, they have plenty of shade. They're very close to huge water troughs, and keeping that over there. There is one downside. So Lovey is a very loving mother. She has not been aggressive, but the fact remains she's very protective of her baby. In fact, Miss Belle, who is Auntie Belle, is very protective of baby. They can care less if you're around, or they could care less if a goat is around, or they could care less if Cochise is around. And as soon as they shift to this mode, they care very much. So we're having to make sure that Cochise stays up, and Enoli is not out in the field either. Remember, I've been keeping her out in the field with the goats, and it's been going really great. So I've had to keep her up more in the stall because Lovey is not in an approving mode right now, because she knows instinctively that she has to defend her baby. That baby is defenseless. So by no fault of Cochise or no fault of the dogs or anything else, it's just the fact that she's a protective mother. You were a protective mother. So again, there's another transition right now for a couple of days, and then we'll transition back. So that's all part of it too. When you have new babies and you have multiple animals and different species and different ages and sizes, especially ones that can quickly injure you very badly, very quickly with no fault of their own, you have to take that seriously. So everything is separated but together. We're dealing with the weather, we're getting things going, and we're blessed. So I don't know how this video is going to end up in the long term here with all the footage we've got. I'm just going to get it going, girl. But we're definitely milking, and so far everybody is healthy and productive, and we're on the move. Hope you're safe. Stay safe in all this weather. We're praying for you folks down there in Louisiana. We know you got slammed, so we'll get the end result of this here in the next 24 hours coming in. So guys, thanks for watching. Good to be making videos again. Lots to do. Stay busy. See you on the next video.